Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hey everybody, this is episode 140 of our live recording from the Design Influencers Conference in Atlanta. This is part 2. We had so many great interviews, and we now have more friends and colleagues to talk to us about their businesses and why this conference is so important for them to attend. Before we get back to them, we'd like to thank ProSource for sponsoring this episode. So there is no better time to start working on a project than now. ProSource is gearing up for their half-yearly sale in October. This is when manufacturers extend a deeper discount on materials from carpet, hard surface flooring, tile, cabinets, and plumbing. So after a year of price increases across the board, buying first run quality material at a discount wholesale pricing is the best way to maximize your resources and accomplish more for your project. Be sure to stop in or make a design appointment this month so you are prepared to purchase come October. We love ProSource for their large offerings of flooring, tile, carpet, countertop, plumbing products, and so much more. So tune in to episode 104 on how to choose finishes for your home and episode 128 entitled Renovations 101 with Stacey Ray of ProSource, who is a wealth of information on all the products offered by them. You can check them out at prosource.com. Okay, so here we are back in the Cascade Room at the Grand Hyatt in Buckhead. Okay, we're just rolling along.
We are.
I know, this is so fun. Next guest we have is Nancy Mikulich.
Hi,
Go
ladies.
ahead and tell us about yourself, Nancy.
Hi, ladies. So I'm an interior designer. I've been an interior designer in New Jersey, in the New York metro area for about 20 years. My firm is located in Asbury Park, New Jersey, the home of Bruce Springsteen, Southside Johnny, all that good stuff. And I also have a studio and boutique on Cookman Avenue, which is downtown Asbury Park.
Awesome. And what's the name of your firm?
Oh, I'm sorry. My firm is called Oasis Home Designs.
Nice.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So what brings you, have you been to this conference before?
So this is my second time at the conference.
Okay.
I attended Atlanta pre-COVID, and then COVID hit, and then I guess what everyone else did, it went through a tremendous reevaluation of business and how to do business, and I was very fortunate to survive COVID through creative business practices and kept the store alive, kept the business alive, actually flourishing because I was in the middle of projects that had to be finished. It was the dead of winter, and clients had, open and exposed homes. So while interior designers were not considered essential, I think, getting their houses finished was essential because we're dealing with people's shelter, and that's essential. And it went from there.
Did you take your shop more online than it was previously, or was it even ever online?
So my shop is not online. What I chose to do was run my business from the store, which I had been doing already. And I decided to pivot. I hate the word, but that's what we all learn to say. And what I did was I turned the store into something more of an experience as opposed to a store. And this way, I was able to maintain a social distance between people and myself. We took appointments for private shopping experiences. And my background before becoming an interior designer was in the music business. So I was on the business side of things as well as performance. So I really kind of embraced that and leaned into it. And I put the red velvet rope in front of the store like it was a hot nightclub.
That's
and
so
I got
cool.
Smart.
I got uniforms for my employees so that they looked sanitary. I designed them after pharmacists.
The white jackets kind of.
Yeah, but I did it in my logo color, so the jacket was navy blue with a white logo on it.
Awesome.
And then rather than have the employees wear, we were in a world that we didn't know what was going. We didn't know if we were going to be if the planet was going to exist tomorrow.
Right.
So rather than have them wear, the gnarly rubber gloves and latex, and I bought everybody butler gloves, so they handled everything with white cotton gloves and a door side concierge service, if you will. And I just think that we as designers are creative thinkers, and I look at, when I go into a house, it's like a Rubik's Cube. And I come to design from a musical point of view. So when you write a symphony, you've got lines and lines and lines. You've got, the timpani may have the most important part, but he only hits the drum once. So I approach design in a very similar fashion. It's like, how do we deconstruct this and then reconstruct it and make it work and lean into it?
I love that.
Create something new and valuable.
Yeah.
So of course now we're all back to where we were, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a one-man band, if you will. I have no more employees, and I'm just like a sole practitioner with the store.
Yeah.
And developing my own podcast that leans into my musical past and kind of merging both music and interior design.
That's
so
awesome.
great. Well, thanks so much for sitting down and
It's so
talking to
nice
us.
to meet
Really
you,
appreciate
ladies.
it.
Finally,
Yeah.
and it's so great to be back here in Atlanta. So great. Hello, Atlanta. So great to be back here in Atlanta.
Yes.
Well,
Thanks.
enjoy the rest of the conference. I hope we get to spend more time together.
Thank you. Looking
Thanks,
forward
Nancy.
to it. Take care.
Okay, we're still rolling here on location at the Hyatt here in Buckhead, Atlanta. And now we're talking to Bridget King, who we just met here at the conference. So tell us about yourself.
Well, ladies, thank you for having me on
Ooh,
your
she's
podcast.
got a radio voice.
So I'm Bridget King. I am the owner. I am the master mixologist of home staging and redesign. And what do? We help people sell their homes, right?
And what part of the
Excellent.
country are you in?
So I'm based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we cover Palm Beach
When I
right down
heard-
to Miami.
Well, you're Captiva Design, right?
Captiva Design. Yes.
Gosh, we've really had a
Good
people
mix
from all
of
over the
people.
country. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so is this your first time here?
It is.
And
This
what
is-
caused you to come here? Like, what did you think?
Well, I just happened to stumble on a post about the conference, and I said, wow, I haven't been to any training or conferences since COVID.
Yeah.
And my daughter lives here, and the date was right. So I said, you know what? I'm going to Atlanta.
That's so. Have you enjoyed it so far? It's
Love it.
really great, isn't it?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just feel the fire is burning. I can't wait to go back and implement some of the hacks and strategies and tactics that I've learned today. Amazing.
What popped out for you today?
So for me, I need to time block. That is something it's important to me, to schedule my post and to work on perfecting my reels. Yes.
Yep.
And then eventually my podcast.
Excellent.
Well, you got the voice for it, girl.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So is Instagram your jam, or have you ventured into TikTok yet? We've talked a lot about TikTok today, or where are you at with your social media life?
I am an IG and Facebook girl and also LinkedIn.
Yep.
Because I work with the real estate community.
Yep.
Many realtors, especially luxury realtors, are on LinkedIn. So I have been utilizing that as well. TikTok I have not ventured into because, quite honestly, I don't even know if I have the bandwidth to take it on. But
Yeah.
I'm going back with a different mindset.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that because Joanne has been hot on getting us more into LinkedIn this year, and
That's where the
it's
business people are. That's
and
where
people
our
don't talk
clients
about it enough.
It
but
is.
there's
Oh yeah, it
you know,
works
good,
if you work
good clients on LinkedIn.
it. Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people that listen to podcasts
Yes.
on LinkedIn.
There are. It's a different audience.
It's different.
More mature audience. I find that the realtors that are on LinkedIn actively are good listing agents. And of course, that's my avatar client, right? For home staging. So LinkedIn has worked well for me. And I do also want to start blogging because I understand that between the blogging, the podcasting, the reels.
When we were blogging, our
Stories.
SEO was really out the roof.
You know, I don't think
It really
people
gave
talk
us our
about
SEO.
blogging as much anymore.
No.
It's not as hot as it once was, but I will say we blogged for 12 years.
Wow.
And probably nothing has, besides the podcast now, spurred our SEO more than our blogs.
Yeah.
There's so much content out there that we wrote. It's crazy town.
Crazy content that we
so
have.
I don't think it's too late to start a blog.
No, I
Do
don't
you,
know
Joanne?
that. No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. If someone comes to your website, if they want to know more about you, they can read your blog. It's, it's all about giving information, sharing.
Yes.
That's really what it is anymore. There's no more of this showing yourself off. What do you give? You have to give.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
Totally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference and we get to spend some more time together.
Yes, I look forward to part 2 tomorrow.
Yes.
And I really appreciate you having me on your podcast.
Well,
yeah,
thanks for
I
coming
think you
in
need to take
do
that
it.
voice and talk to Russ and get going on that podcast, girl.
Well, Russ, you're in my neck of the woods, so we'll have to have a discussion.
Yeah. Okay, so continuing on with more friends. Here we are at the Hyatt Atlanta. And so we've got 2 that came to visit us, Amy Flurry and Rachel Moriarty. Amy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am on the board of the Design Influencers Conference.
Go girl.
I'll just start there because
Okay.
I have been coming to this conference for, I know it has to be at least 10 years now. I think I may have spoken at one of the first conferences after I wrote Recipe for Press, DOG, because I have a
Yes.
second one that's just the designer edition.
So tell us what that is.
It's the DIY PR guide, the guide to DIY PR, as told from the point of view of an editor, a former editor. And I do remember this very location, bringing my books. I'd never spoken. There were 400 people. Maybe I had spoken once, but so sincerely delivering this message about how to get published on your own.
And where everybody was all ears and eyes because,
Yeah.
to hear
I remember
from
that
somebody
vividly.
like you, yeah.
I mean, I was worn out after I gave this talk. I mean, earnest.
Yeah.
I know.
We
It
got
was
off
pretty
the
well
stage
received.
today, and I can't lie. I was like, "Where's the wine?"
It's
Yeah,
kind of like
I know.
it's like right after you do your wedding ceremony, like that part you could just go, okay.
I know, and you're just kind of shaking your head when you really get back and reflect on it. Like, wow, I just remember earnest is the word, And I sold my book at a table after, and I remember Adam coming up, and he was like, "Looks like you're doing just fine selling that book of yours," And I thanked him for having me and inviting me, and he and Luba. And I tried to give him a book, and he said, "Don't give me a book. I'm gonna copy everything you said." Classic Adam. and he was so sincere and like in giving me the opportunity and in encouraging me to share this. It was just a point of view, and that's what we're talking about here. That's what there are some common threads that run through all of these talks, and that's one of them.
Yeah, and Adam is just so great at bringing people together and helping people, and it's always a great.
Yeah, he and Luba and that whole production team, they really put together a good conference. And now, even as a communications person, I'm sitting here in the audience just here to learn.
Yeah, so you and Rachel have a common thread that you've figured out.
Yeah.
MC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rachel is the co-MC this
She
year.
is.
I am.
Yes.
I am. I'm so excited. This is my first official in-person speaking. And luckily there's so many people here that I know, so they already know.
Yeah. She got up there, they said her name, and everyone clapped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so great.
you don't have to envision the crowd
Rachel.
naked because we're all here to cheerlead.
Thank you.
She told me that, and I was like, I think I blacked out. I don't even remember that.
So we were on the couch just commiserating because it's a job. It's a weird job. When you get up there and talk about what you know, it's one thing. When you get up there and introduce and kind of hold the crowd, it's an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
And
I think you did
reading
great.
is awful for me. I'm a riffer. I love to just riff and talk, and I can do anything. But this one they said
Following the script?
They edited it 2 minutes before, and they were like, "We want you to read this," and I'm like, "Okay."
How do I read?
So what do you do in real life?
I'm an interior designer. I live in San Diego, and I also teach courses for Luann University on visibility and marketing. My background is in advertising, so it's been fun being in 2020 a designer because of all of the content that we have to create, the photo shoots that we get to do. That's my favorite part, actually. So, so I'm really enjoying being a designer at this time.
Yeah, that's great because all of our jobs have shifted a little bit and changed up. And I think that's why Joanne and I are enjoying the podcast so much because it's just a totally separate avenue for us to be creative but still connect with our peeps and, do what we do. So,
well, it's really fun being here after, we don't want to say post-pandemic, but what did the pause make possible for a lot of us?
Yes.
And that's what's really fun, talking to everybody and seeing how everybody's business has shifted in the last couple of years.
That's a great title. What did the pause make possible for you? Yeah. So what did the pause make possible for you, Amy?
Well, I started another business after all of these years of teaching and advising on communications. I co-founded a company called Alokahome.
Yes.
A-L-O-K-A. I know you know it because
You know it's because we've bought some.
Because you
into
know
it
my
and-
cantha quilt's on my bed every day
No.
that I bought from you.
And it's just, it's given me a great perspective on what I have been teaching people, and teaching companies and manufacturers on how to really clearly define a point of view, how to communicate that, how to, pitch that to editors and get that visibility and all these things. And then when it's you running the business and you've got that, that's one arm of the business, and then there's sales, and then there's, this and that.
All the
And
hats you have to wear.
wow. So, that's been really eye-opening, but it is vintage premium quilts and pillows styled for today's living, and I'm really enjoying where that's going and moving that into a broader audience.
You have to tell our listeners too about your paper cut project, because this is something listen to what the website is, and you've got to go look at this, because there's really no way to describe it, because I think it's something so different and so cool about you.
Well, in the same year I wrote Recipe for Press. Was the year of the recession and when my work went away entirely. So I stepped out on 2 levels, and that was to write the book that I'd always wanted to share with people, but I just couldn't when I was actively serving as an editor. And then just coming from magazines in the world of make-believe and fantasy and fashion and all this, we had an idea, me and a partner, to do a window display, and our contribution to that was going to be paper wigs. In a very artful way, and we approached Jeffrey Boutique with a piece of paper in our drawing of what we wanted to do. They had confidence in us that we could do it. Gave us the opportunity, and he said to me, "If you're going to do Atlanta windows, you're going to have to do New York too, because we always do the same windows." And we did 20 paper wigs, and that led to Hermes, Christie's, Valentino, the Victorian Albert.
You have to see these. They're incredible.
Us being known as the paper wig ladies, but it's kind of that art project where it's a little bit art, but it's more a collaboration with people who are doing displays, and I think that plays well into interiors, because again, it's about this.
So
making a space.
What's the website? How can people see it?
Paper Cut Project, and in September on the cover of Vogue Scandinavia, you will see a paper cut project.
Oh my God! Seriously,
breaking news.
It's so fun. Yeah, it's funny to see how people can. We're designers, but then some of the hobbies that people have.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Like we know a couple doctors that are artists. I just think that's so cool.
That's so cool about humans.
Yeah,
I think we need to celebrate the side hustles. To be honest,
that is a great point.
Yeah, because we all have them.
There's your book.
There's your
Celebrate the side hustles.
Can you edit that out? No, I'm just kidding. Trademark. Well, I trademark that. Yeah. So,
do you have a side hustle?
I have lots of side hustles.
Let's hear it.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know. Well,
give us a good one.
Fashion was my initial gateway drug into design, I say. But when we talk about what the pandemic pause did, for me, I did a lot of life coaching. I had to work on the brain, and I did courses on digital products, digital courses and stuff like that. So,
had you ever done that before?
I had not. I don't think like that. I don't think sequentially. So for me, I had to be taught that, and that's how I ended up teaching the visibility course for creatives. And I'm also doing branding for creatives and service providers.
That's
great.
Because service is not always visual.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So making that into the visual, it needs for people to get it.
Yeah. So that's been really fun.
This is why this conference is so great, because I could sit here and talk to you guys forever, and we'll probably have to have
we need a part 2.
A remote.
Exactly.
This will be like episode 160 in a month or 2. We'll be like, We're continuing our conversation with Amy Flurry.
Yes.
But
thank you for having us.
You guys are great
for coming.
Y'all were great. Y'all were great
Thank
today.
you so much.
It's really
Thank you so much.
Smart of them to have you.
Oh,
Sure.
thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
We'll have drinks later.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now we're welcoming our good friend Leslie Caruthers, who we see at every event we go to.
We do.
And welcome to our chit chat here at the Hyatt in Buckhead, Atlanta, the Design Influencers Conference.
Thank you. It's really great to be here with you all. I appreciate it.
Now, you've been a million times.
Well, I have been. This will be my 10th one attending.
see?
I think we're
Yeah.
about at the same. We're
Yeah.
about at the same.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, this is where I think we might have actually first met
We may
in
have.
person,
We may
in
have.
real life.
Yeah.
And you're speaking,
Yes, I am.
and your topic is
Online community building. Yes. I'm
Which you're
so
the pro
excited.
of.
where
How many online groups do you have? Because I think we're part of most of them, and the content, and I mean, you're ahead of the game on so much stuff.
you teach us so much.
Yeah, like, so you've got Design Wealth, you've got Savour partnership, so I don't want to say it wrong.
Yes. So from a true online community standpoint,
Yeah.
I have Design Wealth, which
Yes.
is a private Facebook community for interior designers, which
Yes.
you guys have been part of for a long time. And then I also have a group on LinkedIn that is just for the CMOs and CEOs of furniture retailers and manufacturers that I've had since October of 2008.
I never knew that.
Yes, that's it.
And then what's that one called?
That one is called Digital Marketing for the Furniture Industry.
Okay.
And that one has a great group of people in it. But to be honest, I haven't been super active in that group for a while, and I've gotten active this past year, but not. I wasn't really nurturing it as I have the other one, because you know that other group is active, very active.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your favorite nugget today?
I think my favorite nugget was Kyla.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
House
was,
of Hipsters.
Yeah, she was great. I mean,
Talking about
just-
TikTok and just
Well,
content creation overall.
The real favorite nugget for me personally, given what I do for a living,
Yep.
is that TikTok is overtaking Google as a
Yes.
search engine.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important for everyone listening to your podcast to really understand what that can mean for business.
Yes.
Because if you can't be found on Google, or your blog can't be your site, and people are using TikTok to search for you.
Well, it used to be you would go to Google,
Right.
how to change a tire, okay? Then you would go to YouTube, how to change a tire. But now people are going to TikTok.
Exactly, Joanne. That's right. And I think it's really important. I mean, I've been reluctant TikToker. You all
Yeah.
probably know that. But, it's clear to me. I mean, we all have to just, innovate or evaporate is my phrase. So
It's true.
That's
a good one. That's a good one.
We've got pause for, what did she say? What did Rachel say?
The pause in the pandemic.
Pause for anyway, we'll return. I see I'm into my second cocktail. So anyway, so innovate or evaporate.
I've
So
used that
good.
a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, even with, TikTok is that, you have to just get there or you're going to evaporate. I mean, if it really does become the de facto search engine, and for me, what she was saying about looking at the Chinese version of TikTok, Doyen, and how it is a really aggregation of everything we do, Netflix, entertainment,
Yes.
Education.
education, then we realize if that's, since TikTok is actually potentially going to overtake Google, we need to be aware that we need to be there as from a business standpoint if we want to be found in the next 10 years.
And I will bet you that is brand new news to so many ears listening, because I remember, I've watched my kids be on it, but Joanne started 2 months ago, maybe. She's like, you've got to start watching TikTok. And I'm like, oh my God, Joanne,
I've
I
learned
cannot
so
look
much.
at another platform. My husband will divorce me. I'm already not paying attention to him.
It's so different. And actually, there's a realtor in Atlanta named Glenda Baker. And
Yeah.
I have been, she is so interesting and speaks so well. I reached out to her to be on our podcast because there's just so much good information on there. I just learn.
Well, and that's what Carla was telling me. Carla Aston, who we all know. We were talking about that last night. And she is an avid TikTok listener, watcher. She gets all of her, Carla's, not 30, right? I think that's the predominant thinking. Everyone that's on there is so much younger, right?
Right.
She's getting all of her news, her hard news from TikTok.
Get out.
That's where she's, and she's saying that out loud.
Yeah.
So when you think about
not
what that
afraid.
means, really, right? That
Yeah.
she's just one of probably millions of people that are, kind of our age group that are actually doing that. But the media is portraying it as all young people. But that's
It's not dancing
the case.
anymore. It's not dancing.
Exactly.
No. And I think, why do you think Instagram is trying to go that way?
Exactly.
Because they're at the top. They're at the top.
Exactly. So I see that, of course, Facebook is rebranded to Meta, but, Meta/Instagram, they're struggling. And I don't know if you saw this or not. I put it in my Facebook group, but a senior Google executive came out and said that they were worried about TikTok overcoming Google as a search engine. So when she said that this morning, I'm like, wow, that was interesting just to hear her say it out loud.
Julianne Taylor was on our website a couple weeks ago, and she said it too.
Oh, she did.
So the people that are on TikTok, they know it.
Yeah. So it's to hear a senior Google executive, though, saying that out loud to a tech reporter was really, a signal to me that this is something we really do need to pay attention to as an industry.
Yeah.
And then we have the metaverse coming up, which is going to be really interesting. I don't know if have you heard what I'm doing with that?
No, tell us a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So Furniture Today is putting on a new conference called the Innovation Event, and this is taking place September 9th and 10th. It's going to be in Winston-Salem. It's the weekend before pre-market.
Okay.
And they've asked me to be the keynote speaker. I'll be speaking on the metaverse and online community building within the metaverse and the financial opportunities for our industry. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the metaverse, how that actually shifts everything for our industry as well, and where we're going to be all congregating in 10 years. Like, will we have a design influencers conference in the metaverse?
Yeah. When I hear these types of things, kind of like when we today we were, and it's so overwhelming, and I'm like, I can't go there. Oh my God, I just can't do it. But when I think about, well, it's okay because Leslie will help me and lead me there. Or
Leslie's on the pulse.
She's on the pulse.
Everything that is going on.
I can come to a conference like this and get with my peeps, and we can all talk about it, and then it won't be so scary.
Yeah.
Like, you got to kind of do that, right?
At this point, I don't have the brain space for the metaverse. But eventually, when you start to hear things over and over again, and it'll be like, yeah, Leslie was right.
Yeah.
Well, to make it really easy for anyone listening, all I say to people, and I'll say it right here, is that right now we're all gathering on Zoom, or we're gathering 2D on Facebook groups, or wherever we're gathering, right? And so the metaverse is just a 3D way to gather. That's the difference.
Do we look like cartoons, though?
It has that quality, but let me say this. Sotheby's has a shop in the metaverse. And this will be part of my conversation.
As long as I can look skinny, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the nice
can I look cute and skinny?
You can make create any avatar you want.
Excellent.
There you go.
I'll listen.
It's so much fun. Let me tell you, when you get into it, it's like fun. And the thing is, you're just telling me that you're going to TikTok because it's so entertaining, right? The metaverse is the same thing. It is shopping by being entertained. So it's exciting. It's really fun, and it's very.
How are we supposed to sleep?
I'm not sure, Joanne. I don't know.
Up.
It's all I can do to run a design business and have a family and do this podcast.
They can't. No, it's hard. But you know what? We all thought that about social media.
Oh yeah,
remember?
That's true. That's very true.
Here you are podcasting, right?
And your big
right.
start was Twitter.
Yes, you guys were with me a long time ago, and everyone back then was saying, "Oh my God, this is such a bunch of noise. We can't stand it. We got our businesses to run." And now I'm hearing exactly the same thing around the metaverse, and
we're evolving. Okay,
we are evolving. We are innovating or evaporating.
There you go.
Well, I'm excited to hear your talk for sure, and we will probably do a. Kind of like an after the conference and talk about everything that we learned. But it's been so nice to have guests like you, come on and give us a little background. And
Thank you so much for having me.
This is our first remote deal. So it's fun.
Well, it's really great, and you guys are doing a great service to the industry with everything you're educating us on. So I appreciate that as well.
Thank you, Leslie.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
So we have our final guest. We saved the best for last, Mitzi Beach. Go ahead and tell us about what your firm is all about, what you do, because I think what you do is very unique and very interesting.
Thank you, Joanne and Kelly, my favorite girls. I've been in awe of you forever. I'm so jealous because you have each other.
We are very lucky.
You know, I've said that forever. If I could have a partnership like you two, I'd give anything. So you're blessed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But you do good things with it. So we moved to northeastern Ohio right before the pandemic. And so that was a bit of shock. The downsizing and relocating, and husband and me semi-retiring, but not ever, I was like, how do I do this? And then my husband said, Mitz, you wrote a book on it.
Yeah.
So tell us the name of the book and what it's about.
The book is Design Smarts, and the book is about preparing for your next stage. But I wanted to just start off by saying I'm really excited after this big transition, which life is change. And we either grasp it and run with it, or we lose out. So what I'm really excited about is my new focus is on more is possible. And this, after 30-some years designing and doing all that you ladies and then more that you're doing, I'm really being joyful and fulfilled that this is my give back time. This is my leaving a legacy. And I'm having a blast. It is design, it's everything, but basically it boils down to influencing designers to help their clients lead a higher quality of life by incorporating Boomer Smart's life-sizing tips. And I think that more is possible in our designing, because I've said before, if any of my CEUs or whatever I've done, that safety and beauty can coincide beautifully. And wherever you are on the political realm, I just happened to hear a Bill Riley just like 2 days ago. The boomers' spending is $59 trillion. And you know what the millennial spending is?
Can't even imagine.
A fraction.
5 trillion. But where is our focus?
Yes.
Where? Every day, 10,000 people turn 50. I mean, the amount of people into Social Security. And so the market here is ripe for influencers. And I am having a really good time getting these millennial designers to think they have a grandmother. They have clients that are going to need this.
I can't tell you how many times we have been with older clients, and I've turned to Joanne and said, we need Mitzi. Because, you were the first and only designer that we know that ever really addressed aging in place, and aging in place can be beautiful and functional.
Yes.
And we were a part of your book.
Yes.
And
that was the first book.
Yes, and I learned a lot. You asked us to edit it and just read through it the first go around, and I learned a lot just at that point.
Good.
And things that we had never even thought of, whether it be raising outlets or, lowering, or just everything, I look at my mom, who's got this really heavy, fancy decor oven, but she's got to lean all the way down to open it.
I just can't
and it's
tell you
a big issue for her.
Yeah.
And I think about how many designers really are not equipped or educated to discuss these things with their clients, and you are such a help in that regard.
Thank you, Kelly. But we all can, more is possible.
Yes.
As designers.
Because we can make things beautiful. It's the function.
Exactly.
That really
ergonomics is what you just mentioned.
Yes.
But there's some things I won't talk about because I'll be stoned in the design world that are such a no-no. But just to your point for your mama, a wall oven.
Yes.
Have a fabulous cooktop. Whatever. If you, light your fire, literally, gas or whatever. But, I've always said that we all deserve a safe home. And I don't care if you're 2 years old or you're 72. We deserve a safe home. And when I talk to people and I'll say, now, who do you think is in the emergency rooms from home accidents? What age group? They all go. The elderly. The seniors.
It's not.
Wrong. It's the younger, because they're doing extreme sports.
I was going to say, they're skateboarding through the kitchen.
Yes, they're skiing.
Russ's kids are throwing baseballs at his popcorn ceiling, and everything's coming down on them and causing injuries. I mean, we've talked about that on the show.
I love it. But so this is the point, that everything is about each life stage, and that's my shtick.
Yep. So our listeners, this is a very interesting
tell Russ
topic.
what he can do.
Yes, tell us where they can find and read your stuff. But wait a minute.
Just hold on. How many miles did I travel here to produce your podcast? And you won't leave me alone about the popcorn ceilings?
You're the one that said your kids throw baseballs in the house. I mean, I didn't make that up.
You're the one who confessed you had popcorn ceilings. We didn't ask.
I love it.
How many miles?
I love it. It's I have a Facebook group. It's free. Mitzi Beach. It's life sizing for the 50 plus. And we are excited to have almost 700 members.
Wow.
And so we're reaching a lot of different demographics. I'm surprised how many 50-year-olds, and from where I am, that's pretty young, But then they're telling, their kids, you need the wider hallways for the strollers and to carry and schlep all the stuff you're doing.
If you're doing a new build, do it now.
Yes.
But as she's saying, it's crossing over to the younger group, too. Like,
exactly.
Thinking about that, like a wider hallways for all that we schlep.
Mitzi needs a podcast.
She does, Russ.
No, people don't hear about this on a regular basis.
No, they don't, Mitzi.
Or you need to be on TikTok.
Well,
there you go.
I'm starting, and I was listening to what you and the guru, Leslie, were saying. And like you said, your husband will be like, are you kidding me? My husband is the same way, but he's like, all right. But I think it's an untapped target, subject, audience, demographics. It's huge.
People don't think about it until they need it, but they really need to think about it.
Yeah, you are so right.
But it's not just the elderly. I mean, how many people do we know that are getting knee replacements?
Oh, my gosh,
hip replacements.
The younger ones.
Boomers. Yeah. We don't have surgery, we have procedures. So, and so we're having all these procedures, but we can't use our bathroom. We can't get in the shower.
You are so right. I even just had foot surgery 2 years ago for plantar fasciitis, and thank gosh I have a roll-in. I strolled right in with my silly little scooter right into the shower.
You could.
But Joanne had foot surgery several months after me, and she was up the staircase on her bum.
I had to go up and up. You should have seen my triceps, man. I was really getting a workout, but it was
miserable.
Morning and night. Yeah.
And see, Joanne, you and others prepositions you for more injury because your homes are not prepared, equipped, empowering you. And we can do, this is like, it's not rocket science. It's so easy, and it doesn't have to be
But people
expensive.
don't talk about it that much. People just think that's for old people. You see a grab bar, that's for old people.
I know. Well, they're not grab bars,
What are they
Joanne.
called now?
They're handrails.
Remember when we did Jean Sellers' bathroom, and she wanted crystal finials on the end of her grab bars in her shower, and that is what she got.
And they're available.
Yes,
like you
they
found.
are.
And it does not have to look like a medical facility. That's why I'm very obviously passionate about this, but I'm also very concerned, just to be frank with my designer friends, how do we instill this within our design community that we can, as an industry, do more is possible. We can give more. We can be more. And the thing of it is, it's like when your clients come back and they go, oh, thank goodness, I've had this. I didn't know I was going to have a knee replacement. I didn't know I was going to wrench my shoulder doing this new golf, whatever, or pickleball. And they're like, oh, thank you, thank you. And see, that begets referrals. Is it begets or begots? Whatever it is. But it's a win-win. It's not a compromise.
I think part of our job is to educate the people too.
Absolutely, all day. That's why we're here.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah,
that's my saying.
Yeah, and that's what I love about us getting all together here at Design Influencers and doing this remote podcast. Is we've talked to so many. We've talked to brands. We've talked to content creators. We've talked to designers. We've talked to. I mean, everybody has a different position, a different point of view, and we've all come together.
Yes.
But you can see, as if you've all been listening to everybody that we've talked to for this, there's a common thread going through all of our conversations.
And I think one of them is you can't sit back and life pass you by. You've got to move forward. You have to be proactive.
I'd say that's the biggest thread.
You snooze, you lose.
In this Facebook group, I have the premise is 3 pillars, and it's like a 3-legged stool. If you take one leg away, tilt, tilt, tilt. So these 3 pillars are your attitude on aging, your lifestyle on aging, and your home on aging. And it is definitely the essential 3 ingredients for aging gracefully. We don't age in place, please. We're aging gracefully. But I had a 76-year-old dear friend of mine. She said, I got to call you, Mitzi. It'll only take 3 minutes. I know you're leaving. She said, but I'm getting ready to go on a trip, and I haven't flown with COVID or by myself for a long time. She said, and I remember your pillar, life-sizing attitudes. She said, and you said over and over, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, girl.
And here's a 76-year-old going, I can do this. I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm going to rock this.
Do it scared, as Julianne Taylor says.
Attitude.
Yeah.
It's all about. And the thing is, we are living way longer.
Yes,
we are living way longer.
Yes. And we want to do it with bells on.
Pause for possibilities. That's what it was with Rachel.
Yes.
Yep. And with Mitzi.
Lots of nuggets today.
Lots of nuggets.
And this remote podcast.
Yes. Well, as always, it is so good to see you. You are doing amazing things as always.
You are such an inspiration to me, for sure.
We wish you all the luck with your next venture.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay.
I love being with you.
We love you. A big thank you to all of these amazing people who took the time to speak to us in our makeshift studio at the Design Influencers Conference, and to our producer, Russ Reba, for coming here with us and giving us such excellent quality sound. Next, we're going to move on to the funny and serious quotes. These might be 2 of my absolute favorites. So the funny quote, and I know so many people can relate to this. I can't seem to sleep. Let's see if the bright light of my phone, containing all the information in the entire world, held inches away from my face for the next 15 minutes, manages to lull me into a peaceful slumber. Now, if Kelly was here, she would be giggling and giggling.
Hold on. Kelly's not here to back that up with some laughter, but yes, that was good. That was good. Yeah. Kelly had to step out for a moment, so Joanne, you're good with closing this out.
All right, so now a serious quote. A shark in a fish tank will grow 8 inches, but in the ocean, it will grow to 8 feet or more. The shark will never outgrow its environment, and the same is true about you. Many times, we're around small-thinking people, so we don't grow. Change your environment and watch your growth. Love that one. So once again, thank you, everybody, and thank you to ProSource for sponsoring this episode. We would love for you to give us a follow, and thanks again.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.